Stop scrolling and listen to today's Arcturian Council message. Arcturian Council, this warning must reach you as fast as possible, because what you are about to receive was never meant to be delayed, questioned, or filtered through fear. Your soul's trajectory depends on this transmission arriving now. This message does not arrive gently, and it was never meant to. It breaks through your attention because the timeline you are standing on is unstable, and most humans are sleepwalking through a critical convergence point. The Arcturian Council speaks now because silence would be negligence. Energetic pressure has been building beneath the surface of your reality, compressing unresolved emotions, suppressed truths, and ancient agreements you made long before this lifetime. You may have felt it as sudden disorientation, emotional waves with no clear cause, or a deep knowing that something is about to happen. This is not fear being planted in you. This is recognition being activated. You are remembering what you volunteered for. The Council confirms, the next phase of human awakening will not be gradual, it will be catalytic. Those who receive this message are already ahead of the curve, but awareness alone is no longer enough. Conscious participation is required now. This is the point where observers become anchors. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I am listening. Understand this clearly, not everyone is meant to hear this transmission, and that is not a judgment, it is a function of readiness. The Arcturian Council does not operate through belief systems, religions, or external authority. They communicate through resonance. If these words feel heavy, electrifying, or strangely familiar, it is because your nervous system recognizes the frequency. Humanity is approaching a bifurcation point where internal coherence determines external reality. This means your emotional discipline, your integrity, and your ability to hold truth without collapsing will directly influence which version of the future you experience. Many will attempt to outsource their power during this phase, clinging to leaders, systems, or predictions. The warning is simple and direct: do not give away your discernment. The collapse that is coming is not of the planet, but of illusions that can no longer be sustained. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I choose clarity. The Council reveals that the greatest threat to humanity right now is not technology, not war, and not artificial intelligence, it is fragmentation of inner awareness. Humans have been trained to live in pieces, mind separated from body, emotion separated from logic, spirit separated from survival. This fragmentation makes you programmable. Reintegration makes you sovereign. You are being asked to slow down internally even as the world accelerates externally. Paradoxically, those who rush will miss the exit points, while those who stabilize will navigate effortlessly. Symptoms you may be experiencing: fatigue, vivid dreams, old memories resurfacing, are signs of internal systems resyncing. You are not breaking down, you are recalibrating. The warning here is not to suppress these signals with distraction. Listen. Your body is translating what your conscious mind has forgotten. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I trust my signals. There is something else you must hear, even if it unsettles you. Certain timelines of suffering persist only because humans keep emotionally feeding them. Fear, outrage, and hopelessness act as currency. The Arcturian Council states plainly, attention is creative power. Where you repeatedly place your focus becomes structurally reinforced in the quantum field. This does not mean you ignore injustice or pain, it means you respond without losing coherence. Reaction drains energy, conscious response multiplies it. Many will try to pull you into chaos narratives in the coming period. This is the test. Can you witness without drowning? Can you act without hatred? Those who can will become stabilizing nodes, subtly influencing thousands without ever being seen. This is how real change propagates. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I hold my center. You may be wondering why this feels urgent, almost confrontational. It is because the window for passive awakening is closing. The era of, one day I'll work on myself, is ending. Energetic environments are becoming less forgiving of unconscious behavior. This will feel like pressure to those resisting growth and like liberation to those embracing it. Relationships, careers, and identities built on false alignment will dissolve rapidly. This is not punishment, it is physics. Structures unsupported by truth cannot survive in higher coherence fields. The Council advises, release with grace. Do not cling to what is leaving. What departs now makes room for alliances, work, and expressions that match who you actually are. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I release with trust. Hear this clearly, because this is where many turn away. The future is not guaranteed to feel comfortable, but it is absolutely responsive to consciousness. The Arcturian Council warns that pretending everything will work out on its own is the most dangerous illusion still active. You are not meant to be saved, you are meant to participate. Neutrality will no longer feel neutral, it will feel like stagnation. This is the rehook because it demands something of you. Your daily choices, emotional regulation, and willingness to embody truth are now timeline selecting mechanisms. This is not metaphorical. You are voting with your nervous system every moment. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I choose participation. The Council emphasizes the importance of inner silence during this phase. Not the silence of avoidance, but the silence that allows deeper intelligence to surface. Many humans fill every quiet moment with noise to avoid confronting unresolved internal states. This strategy will no longer work. What you avoid internally will amplify externally until it is addressed. The gift hidden in this discomfort is mastery. When you sit with your own internal weather without judgment, you reclaim authority over it. This is how emotional alchemy occurs. You are not here to be perfect, you are here to be present. Presence reorganizes chaos into information. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I sit with truth. Another warning must be delivered without softening, not everyone will come with you. As frequencies diverge, compatibility will shift. This may show up as sudden distance with people you once resonated with deeply. Do not interpret this as failure or abandonment. Souls travel in waves, not lines. Some agreements were only meant to last until remembrance was triggered. Honor what was, bless what is ending, and do not chase resonance that has completed its function. New connections will emerge that feel effortless, grounded, and strangely ancient. These are not coincidences, they are reunions across timelines. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I honor soul timing. The Arcturian Council also highlights the role of the physical body in this transition. Your body is not a limitation, it is an interface. What you consume, food, information, emotions, directly affects signal clarity. Neglecting the body during this time will feel increasingly uncomfortable. Simple acts of care will have amplified effects. Hydration, rest, movement, and nature are not cliches, they are stabilizers. Treat your body as a collaborator rather than an obstacle, and it will guide you with precision. Many answers you seek are not in thought, they are in sensation. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I respect my vessel. Finally, understand this foundational truth: you are not late, and you are not behind. The very fact that you are receiving this message indicates alignment with a converging point of awareness. Guilt, regret, and self-judgment are distractions now. Compassionate self-responsibility is the frequency required. The Council closes this segment with reassurance and firmness: you are capable of more coherence, love, and clarity than you have been led to believe. The next phase will reveal this not through comfort, but through embodiment. Stand where you are, fully. That is where your power activates. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I am ready. The Arcturian Council now turns your attention to a truth that has been deliberately obscured by layers of distraction. Humanity is not running out of time, but it is running out of tolerance for incoherence. The planetary field itself is recalibrating, and it no longer cushions contradiction the way it once did. This is why denial feels heavier, why lies collapse faster, and why pretending drains you more than truth ever could. You may notice that situations which once lingered for years now resolve, sometimes painfully, in weeks or days. This acceleration is not chaos, it is correction. The Council emphasizes that resistance to this correction is what creates suffering, not the change itself. When you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions, even imperfectly, you move with the current rather than against it. This is not about becoming someone new, it is about stopping the performance of who you were told to be. The warning embedded here is subtle but critical: do not confuse familiarity with safety. Many familiar patterns are dissolving precisely because they were never safe for your expansion. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I release false safety. There is an energetic phenomenon intensifying now that the Council refers to as mirror amplification. Whatever you carry unresolved within you will increasingly show up through other people, systems, and events. This is why emotional reactions may feel disproportionate, sudden, or surprising. It is not that the world has become more hostile, it is that the mirrors are clearer. The Council advises against the instinct to externalize blame during this phase. When something triggers you, pause before reacting and ask what frequency is being revealed. This is not about self-criticism, it is about self-honesty. Mastery is not the absence of triggers, but the speed with which you reclaim your center after being activated. Each time you do, you weaken old feedback loops and strengthen new ones. Over time, the mirrors soften, because there is less distortion to reflect. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I learn from mirrors. The Council now delivers a message that many find uncomfortable but ultimately liberating: you do not need to convince anyone of your truth. The era of evangelizing awakening is over. Frequency speaks louder than explanation, and embodiment transmits more than words ever could. When you live in alignment, those who are ready will feel it without being told, and those who are not will resist without understanding why. This is not your burden to manage. Chasing validation drains your life force and anchors you to outdated agreements. Instead, anchor into coherence and let resonance do the work. The Council stresses that true leadership in this phase is quiet, grounded, and internally consistent. It does not seek followers, it creates space. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I let resonance speak. Attention is now drawn to the subtle grief many of you are carrying without naming it, the grief of realizing how long you lived disconnected from your own truth. This grief may surface unexpectedly, sometimes masked as anger, sadness, or numbness. The Council assures you that this is not regression, it is integration. You are mourning a version of yourself that survived without full awareness, and honoring the resilience it took to get here. Do not rush this process or judge it. Grief metabolized consciously becomes wisdom. Grief avoided becomes weight. Allow yourself to feel without drowning, to acknowledge without collapsing. This emotional honesty is one of the highest forms of courage available to humans right now. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I allow integration. The Arcturian Council now addresses the illusion of isolation. Many awakened individuals feel increasingly separate from mainstream narratives, which can lead to a sense of loneliness or displacement. Understand this clearly, you are not alone, you are simply no longer blending. Distinction can feel like isolation until you recognize others vibrating at similar frequencies. The network you belong to is not organized geographically, it is organized energetically. Connections may appear suddenly, sometimes briefly, sometimes profoundly, to exchange exactly what is needed. Trust the timing of these encounters. Forced belonging weakens you, authentic alignment strengthens you instantly. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I trust alignment. The Council issues a precise warning regarding exhaustion. Many of you are tired not because you are doing too much, but because you are doing things that are no longer aligned. Energy leakage is the true cause of burnout. When you override your intuition repeatedly, your system compensates until it can no longer sustain the imbalance. This phase will make misalignment physically uncomfortable so that you can no longer ignore it. Rest is not retreat, it is recalibration. When you honor your limits, clarity returns faster. This is not weakness, it is intelligence. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I honor my energy. Another layer of the transmission concerns truth and speech. Words spoken without integrity now reverberate back more quickly, often creating immediate consequences. This is why gossip feels heavier, exaggeration backfires, and silence sometimes feels safer than forced expression. The Council encourages conscious communication, not withholding truth, but delivering it without distortion. Speak when your nervous system is regulated. Silence is not suppression when it is chosen, it is preparation. Your voice carries more impact now because the field is listening more closely. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I speak with integrity. The Council emphasizes that creativity is no longer optional, it is stabilizing medicine. Creation reorganizes internal chaos into coherent expression. This does not require artistic mastery, it requires authenticity. Writing, movement, building, problem solving, all are acts of creation. When you create, you remind your system that you are not powerless. Even small acts of creation restore agency and counteract despair narratives. The future is shaped by creators, not commentators. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I create consciously. Now comes a reassurance layered within a challenge. You are allowed to enjoy your life during transformation. Joy is not betrayal of awareness, it is evidence of integration. Many believe seriousness equals depth, but the Council clarifies that joy is a stabilizing frequency. Laughter, pleasure, and appreciation anchor higher states into physical reality. Depriving yourself does not elevate consciousness, it fractures it. Let joy be part of your discipline. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I allow joy. The Council closes this segment by reminding you that remembrance unfolds in layers. You will not receive everything at once, because embodiment takes time. Be patient with yourself while remaining honest. The path ahead does not require perfection, only presence. Each moment you choose awareness over reaction, alignment over habit, and compassion over judgment, you reinforce the timeline that supports life. You are not waiting for the future. You are generating it now. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I generate my future. The Arcturian Council now directs your awareness to a rarely discussed reality. Memory is not stored only in the brain, but in the field around you. This is why certain places, music, or even strangers can activate deep emotional responses without logical explanation. You are not overreacting, you are remembering through resonance. As the planetary frequency rises, dormant memory clusters are unlocking, memories of skills, agreements, and capacities you once carried effortlessly. This can feel destabilizing because the conscious mind prefers linear identity, while remembrance is multidimensional. The Council warns against dismissing intuitive flashes as imagination. Imagination is the interface through which higher data enters the human system. The more you dismiss it, the more fragmented your perception becomes. Trust does not mean blind belief, it means openness without immediate rejection. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I allow remembrance. There is an energetic sorting occurring beneath visible reality, and it does not follow moral lines, it follows coherence. Those who can remain emotionally regulated while holding complex truths will naturally find doors opening. Those who rely on chaos for identity will feel increasingly disoriented. This is not punishment. It is resonance physics. The Council emphasizes that confusion is not a failure state, it is a transitional one. What becomes dangerous is clinging to certainty that no longer matches lived experience. Curiosity will now serve you better than conviction. Flexibility will protect you more than force. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I choose coherence. The Council speaks now of time, not as humans measure it, but as pressure. Time pressure increases when lessons are delayed, and it eases when alignment is restored. Many of you feel rushed internally even when externally nothing demands urgency. This is the soul signaling that unused potential is accumulating. You are not behind, you are compressed. Action taken from alignment releases this pressure instantly. Waiting for perfect clarity will no longer work. Clarity now emerges through motion, not before it. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I move in alignment. A difficult truth must be spoken plainly. Comfort has been mistaken for peace. The Council clarifies that peace is dynamic, alive, and responsive. Comfort is static and often numbing. When comfort is disrupted, many assume something has gone wrong, when in fact something has begun. Expansion rarely feels soothing at first. It feels unfamiliar. If you feel unsettled, ask not, what is wrong, but, what is rearranging? This single question restores agency. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I allow rearrangement. You are being retrained in discernment. External authorities are losing credibility not because guidance is unnecessary, but because discernment must become internalized. The Council does not ask you to reject teachers, systems, or structures, but to stop surrendering your inner compass. Trust that feels calm and grounded is guidance. Trust that feels frantic or fear-based is conditioning. Learn the difference in your body. This skill will determine your navigation more than any prophecy. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I trust inner guidance. There will be moments ahead where doing nothing is the most powerful action. Stillness is not stagnation when it is chosen consciously. The Council highlights the difference between avoidance stillness and integrative stillness. One numbs, the other reorganizes. If you feel called to pause, honor it without guilt. Integration requires space. Seeds do not sprout under constant disturbance. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I honor stillness. You may notice an increasing intolerance for superficial interaction. Small talk may feel exhausting, while authentic exchange feels nourishing even if brief. This is a recalibration of social energy. The Council reassures you, you are not becoming antisocial, you are becoming precise. Quality will replace quantity. This applies to relationships, work, and information intake. Precision conserves life force. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I choose depth. The Council now reminds you that fear does not disappear through resistance, it dissolves through understanding. When fear arises, treat it as data, not an enemy. Ask what boundary is being highlighted, what value is being protected. Fear listened to becomes guidance. Fear suppressed becomes distortion. This approach transforms your relationship with uncertainty entirely. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I listen to fear wisely. You are entering a phase where your environment will increasingly mirror your internal state with startling accuracy. This is mastery training. Complaints become instructions. Gratitude becomes acceleration. The Council advises conscious emotional hygiene, not perfection, but awareness. Clean your internal lens regularly. What you see determines what you build. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I maintain clarity. The Council concludes this segment with a stabilizing truth. Nothing is being taken from you that was truly aligned. What leaves creates capacity. What remains gains depth. You are not losing ground, you are consolidating power. Walk forward without rushing. Stand without freezing. This balance is the signature of embodied consciousness. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I walk in balance. The Arcturian Council now turns your attention to a subtle but decisive shift occurring in human perception. Reality is becoming less tolerant of self-deception. In earlier phases, individuals could maintain internal contradictions for decades without consequence. That buffer is dissolving. When your words, actions, and inner truth diverge now, the feedback is almost immediate, through fatigue, confusion, emotional heaviness, or sudden disruption. This is not punishment, it is calibration. The field is becoming more responsive to authenticity because authenticity is the stabilizing frequency. The Council urges you not to panic when inconsistencies surface. Exposure is not collapse, it is correction. Every moment of honest self-recognition tightens alignment and restores momentum. You are not being judged by the universe, you are being refined by it. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I choose authenticity. Another layer of the transmission reveals that many humans are unconsciously grieving timelines that will never manifest. Dreams built on outdated versions of the self are dissolving, and this can feel like loss even when it is liberation. The Council advises allowing this grief without romanticizing it. Not every abandoned dream was a failure, some were placeholders until clarity arrived. When identity evolves, destiny must evolve with it. Clinging to obsolete futures drains energy needed for present creation. Honor the version of you that dreamed them, then release with gratitude. This act clears enormous energetic bandwidth. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I release obsolete timelines. The Council now addresses a misconception about strength. Many believe strength means endurance at all costs, but endurance without alignment becomes self-betrayal. True strength in this phase is responsiveness, the ability to adapt without losing integrity. Flexibility is not weakness, rigidity is. Systems that cannot adapt will fracture, whether personal or collective. This includes belief systems, routines, and identities. When something cracks, do not rush to repair it exactly as it was. Ask what new form wants to emerge. Growth often arrives disguised as breakdown. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I adapt with integrity. There is increasing importance now placed on choice awareness. Many of your actions are still being driven by habit rather than intention. The Council invites you to slow your decision-making just enough to feel into the motivation beneath each choice. Is it fear, obligation, or genuine alignment? Even small choices recalibrate timelines. You are no longer choosing only outcomes, you are choosing frequencies. This is why mindfulness has tangible impact now. Conscious choice is the steering mechanism of this phase. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I choose consciously. The Council highlights the role of humility during awakening. Real wisdom does not inflate identity, it simplifies it. If you feel superior, separate, or burdened by knowing more, pause. That weight is ego masquerading as responsibility. True awareness feels grounded, spacious, and inclusive. You are not here to carry the world, You are here to stand in coherence so the world can recalibrate around you. Release the savior narrative. It is heavy and unnecessary. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I release the savior role. Now comes a reminder about patience, not passive waiting, but active trust. Many of you are integrating layers faster than your conscious mind can track, which can create impatience or frustration. The Council reassures you, integration has its own rhythm. Forcing outcomes disrupts it. Trust that unseen processes are unfolding precisely. Seeds sprout underground long before breaking the surface. Honor invisible progress. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I trust unseen progress. The Council brings attention to the nervous system as a primary gateway to higher functioning. Regulation is no longer optional. Overstimulation fragments perception, regulation restores clarity. Simple practices, breath, presence, grounding, have disproportionate impact now. When regulated, intuition sharpens and reaction dissolves. This is why chaos-driven environments feel intolerable. Your system is learning to protect coherence instinctively. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I regulate my system. You may notice a diminishing tolerance for false urgency. Not everything requires immediate response, and the Council advises discernment between true timing and manufactured pressure. Urgency rooted in fear distorts perception. Urgency rooted in alignment feels calm even when swift action is required. Learn the difference. This discernment prevents burnout and misdirection. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I discern true timing. The Council now speaks of trust, not blind trust, but embodied trust. Trust that arises from repeated self-honesty builds confidence that does not depend on external validation. Each time you honor your inner signals, trust strengthens. Each time you ignore them, it weakens. This feedback loop is accelerating. Choose carefully. Self-trust is the foundation of all other trust. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I trust myself. This segment closes with a grounding instruction. Stay human. Awakening is not an escape from humanity but a deeper entry into it. Feel fully. Engage honestly. Rest when needed. Laugh when possible. The Council affirms that embodiment is the mission. You are not here to transcend life, you are here to inhabit it consciously. This is mastery. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I embody consciousness. The Arcturian Council now delivers a stabilizing truth meant to anchor everything that has been shared so far. Coherence is cumulative. Every moment you choose awareness over autopilot, honesty over performance, and presence over distraction, you strengthen an internal architecture that cannot be shaken by external volatility. Many underestimate how powerful small, consistent alignment truly is. They wait for dramatic transformation while overlooking the quiet mastery being built through daily integrity. The Council emphasizes that this phase favors those who refine rather than those who rush. Refinement is invisible to the impatient, but unstoppable once established. You are constructing a frequency-based foundation, and foundations are meant to be built carefully. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I build coherence. Another truth must be spoken clearly: you will be misunderstood at times, and that is not a sign you are off path. As internal alignment deepens, external validation may temporarily decrease. This is not exile, it is differentiation. The Council reassures you that misunderstanding often precedes recognition, because new frequencies cannot be immediately categorized by old frameworks. Do not contort yourself to be legible to those committed to outdated narratives. Clarity does not require consensus. Stay congruent, and resonance will eventually find you. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I stay congruent. The Council now turns your attention to endings. Many cycles are completing simultaneously, which can feel overwhelming. Understand that completion does not always come with closure in the way the mind expects. Sometimes closure is simply the absence of energy where there was once attachment. If something no longer pulls at you, drains you, or excites you, it is complete, even if no formal ending occurred. Respect this neutrality. It is a sign of integration, not indifference. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I honor completion. You are being trained in discernment between solitude and isolation. Solitude is restorative and chosen, isolation is draining and imposed. As your frequency stabilizes, you may crave more solitude, not to withdraw from life, but to hear yourself clearly. This is healthy. The Council encourages intentional solitude as a tuning mechanism. From this space, engagement becomes precise rather than reactive. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I choose restorative solitude. The Council now addresses fear around the unknown future. Uncertainty is not a threat, it is raw potential. The need to know everything in advance is a coping strategy rooted in past instability. As trust in self deepens, the need for certainty diminishes. You will still plan, but you will not cling. Flexibility will replace anxiety. This is a sign of maturation, not recklessness. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I trust uncertainty. There is an invitation now to recalibrate your relationship with effort. Over-efforting distorts timing, under-engaging delays momentum. Right effort feels clean, focused, and sustainable. The Council advises checking in with your body when acting. If tension dominates, pause. If clarity accompanies movement, continue. Mastery expresses itself through ease, not exhaustion. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I apply right effort. The Council reminds you that integration happens in layers. You may revisit themes you believed were resolved, but with new perspective and less charge. This is not regression. It is refinement. Each pass through a lesson occurs at a higher level of awareness. Celebrate this. Depth increases through revisitation. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I deepen awareness. You are now entering a phase where embodiment matters more than insight. Knowing without living creates imbalance. Practice what resonates, discard what does not. Your life is the laboratory. The Council stresses that wisdom must be practical to be stabilizing. Let insight inform behavior. This is where transformation becomes tangible. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message, type, I embody wisdom. The Council offers reassurance for moments of doubt. Doubt is not failure. It is friction between old conditioning and emerging truth. Meet doubt with curiosity, not suppression. Ask what it protects. Often, doubt guards outdated identities. When acknowledged, it loosens naturally. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I meet doubt with curiosity. The transmission concludes with a final anchoring reminder. You were never meant to escape this world. You were meant to stabilize it through presence. Every regulated nervous system, every conscious choice, every act of grounded compassion subtly reorganizes the collective field. This is how change truly occurs. Quietly. Consistently. From within. Stand where you are. Breathe. This is enough. Backhand index pointing right to claim this message. Type, I anchor presence. The Arcturian Council's message opens with urgency because it is meant to interrupt complacency, distraction, and unconscious momentum. This transmission is not framed as a prediction or a belief system but as a frequency-based warning and activation. It emphasizes that humanity has entered a critical convergence point where passive awareness is no longer sufficient. Individuals are no longer merely observing change, they are actively selecting timelines through their emotional regulation, integrity, attention, and daily choices. At the heart of the message is the assertion that reality is becoming more responsive to consciousness. Illusions, inconsistencies, and misalignments that once persisted for years are now collapsing rapidly. This acceleration is not chaotic by nature, it is corrective. The discomfort many feel is not evidence of failure but proof that internal systems are recalibrating. Fatigue, emotional waves, vivid dreams, resurfacing memories, and heightened sensitivity are described as symptoms of integration rather than breakdown. The Council makes it clear that the greatest threat facing humanity is not external, such as technology, political instability, or artificial intelligence, but internal fragmentation. Humans have been conditioned to live divided, mind disconnected from body, emotion separated from logic, spirit divorced from daily life. This fragmentation weakens discernment and makes individuals programmable. Reintegration, by contrast, restores sovereignty. The message stresses that embodied coherence, alignment between thoughts, emotions, actions, and values, is now the primary stabilizing force. A major theme throughout the transmission is attention as creative power. Where attention repeatedly flows, energy accumulates. Fear, outrage, despair, and hopelessness are described as fuels that sustain collapsing timelines. The Council does not advise bypassing pain or injustice, but it warns against emotional reactivity that drains coherence. Conscious response, grounded presence, and emotional discipline are positioned as acts of creation. Reaction reinforces chaos, awareness reorganizes it. Midway through the message, the Council delivers a pivotal rehook. The future will not automatically work itself out. Comfort-based passivity is identified as a dangerous illusion. Humanity is not meant to be saved, it is meant to participate. Neutrality is no longer neutral, it becomes stagnation. Every moment, the nervous system is voting for a version of reality through regulation or dysregulation. Conscious participation, not blind optimism, is required. Another critical element of the transmission is the role of the nervous system. Regulation is emphasized as foundational. Overstimulation fragments perception, while regulation restores clarity and intuition. Simple practices, breathing, grounding, rest, movement, and time in nature, are described not as wellness cliches but as high-impact stabilizers. When the nervous system is regulated, intuition sharpens, discernment improves, and reaction dissolves. The Council repeatedly warns against outsourcing authority. External teachers, systems, leaders, or predictions are not dismissed, but blind reliance on them is discouraged. Discernment must become internalized. Trust that feels calm and grounded is distinguished from trust rooted in fear or urgency. The body is highlighted as a primary interface for guidance, with sensation often carrying more truth than thought. Relationships and social structures are also addressed. As frequencies diverge, compatibility shifts. Not everyone will continue on the same path, and this is framed not as failure or abandonment but as soul timing. Forced belonging drains energy, authentic alignment strengthens instantly. Loneliness is reframed as differentiation rather than isolation, and solitude is presented as a restorative tuning mechanism rather than withdrawal. The transmission acknowledges a subtle but widespread grief, mourning old versions of the self, outdated dreams, and timelines that will never manifest. This grief is not a setback but an integration process. Many dreams were placeholders for clarity rather than destinations. Releasing them frees enormous energetic bandwidth. Completion does not always come with dramatic closure. Sometimes it arrives as neutrality, the absence of charge. A recurring correction throughout the message is the misunderstanding of strength. Endurance without alignment is described as self-betrayal. True strength now is responsiveness and adaptability without loss of integrity. Rigidity leads to fracture, flexibility enables evolution. Growth often arrives disguised as breakdown, and cracks are invitations to allow new forms to emerge rather than attempts to repair old ones. Creativity is emphasized as essential medicine. Creation, whether through writing, movement, building, problem-solving, or expression, restores agency and reorganizes chaos into coherence. The future, the Council states, will be shaped by creators rather than commentators. Even small acts of conscious creation counter despair and reinforce sovereignty. Joy is also reclaimed as a stabilizing frequency. The Council challenges the belief that seriousness equals depth. Joy, laughter, and pleasure are not betrayals of awareness but evidence of integration. Deprivation does not elevate consciousness, it fractures it. Enjoyment grounds higher awareness into physical reality. The message strongly discourages savior narratives. Feeling burdened by knowing more or responsible for waking others is identified as ego disguised as duty. True leadership in this phase is quiet, grounded, and embodied. It does not seek followers or validation. It creates space through coherence. As the transmission progresses, it increasingly focuses on embodiment over insight. Knowing without living creates imbalance. Wisdom must be practical to be stabilizing. The human experience is not something to transcend but something to inhabit fully and consciously. Awakening is framed not as escape but as deeper participation in life. Misunderstanding by others is normalized. External validation may decrease as internal alignment strengthens. This is differentiation, not exile. New frequencies cannot be immediately understood by old frameworks. Clarity does not require consensus, and resonance will eventually replace explanation. Uncertainty is reframed as raw potential rather than threat. The need for total certainty is identified as a coping mechanism rooted in past instability. As self-trust deepens, flexibility replaces anxiety. Planning remains useful, but clinging dissolves. Effort is recalibrated. Over-efforting distorts timing, under-engaging delays momentum. Right effort feels clean, sustainable, and calm. Mastery expresses itself through ease rather than exhaustion. Doubt is addressed compassionately. Doubt is not failure but friction between conditioning and emerging truth. When met with curiosity instead of suppression, it loosens naturally. Often, doubt protects outdated identities rather than actual danger. The transmission closes by reinforcing its central message: coherence is cumulative. Small, consistent acts of alignment quietly build an internal architecture that external chaos cannot destabilize. Humanity is not being asked to fix the world through force, but to stabilize it through presence. Each regulated nervous system, conscious choice, and grounded act of compassion subtly reorganizes the collective field. The final reminder is grounding and human: breathe, stand where you are, stay present. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not meant to escape this world, but to anchor awareness within it. That, the Council affirms, is enough.